Welcome to the Explainer. Every time you're online in the Philippines, whether you're posting a comment or just logging into your email, there's a law watching over everything you do. Today, we're going to break down exactly what that law is and what it really means for you. And here it is, the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. You can think of it as the official rulebook for our increasingly digital lives. And honestly, understanding it has never been more important. Right, so the big question is, what's actually illegal? What are the specific things that can land you in some serious hot water online? Let's get into it. Okay, first things first. To really get a grip on any law, you've got to start with why it even exists. What was going on back in 2012 that the government say, hey, we need a whole new set of rules for this internet thing? Well, the law itself gives us a pretty big clue. It says the goal is to protect and safeguard the integrity of computer systems. So what does that really mean? Basically, the government saw just how vital our digital world was becoming. This act was their way of making sure all that data we rely on stays safe, accurate, and available when we need it. So the law kicks things off by looking at the very core of the internet, the systems and the data itself. It goes right after the crimes that directly attack our digital infrastructure. So, illegal access. The easiest way to think about this, it's basically digital trespassing. Yeah, it doesn't even matter what you do once you're in there. Just the act of getting into a system you have no right to be in, that's the crime. Then we have illegal interception. Now this one is more like digital eavesdropping. It's all about listening in on data while it's in transit, as it's zipping from one computer to another without anyone's permission. So let's make this super clear. Illegal access is about breaking in. Illegal interception is about listening in while data is on the move. They might sound similar, but under the law, they are two totally different crimes. But it doesn't stop there. The law also goes after what you could call digital vandalism. That's data interference. And then there's digital sabotage or system interference. Think of things like a denial of service attack. And get this, it's even illegal to just make or sell the tools that are designed to commit these crimes. All right, so from there, the law really broadens its reach. It starts looking beyond crimes that are against computers and starts covering those classic old-school crimes that are now committed using a computer as the main weapon. And you'll recognize these right away. We're talking about stuff we've known about for centuries, right? Forgery, fraud, but now they're supercharged for the digital age. And of course, there's the very modern crime of identity theft. The law also has something to say about cyber squatting. This is to protect people and companies from those who go out and snatch up domain names in bad faith, just to try and profit off someone else's name or to ruin their reputation. And finally, we get to the content itself. The Act takes on specific content-related offenses. This is where it extends existing laws, and the big one here is libel, smack into the online world, where, as we all know, words can spread like wildfire. Okay, so breaking these rules is obviously a big deal. But what actually happens if someone gets caught and is found guilty? What are the real-world consequences we're talking about here? And I'm not kidding, the consequences are severe. We are talking about serious, life-altering prison time and fines so big they could be financially crippling. This table really lays it all out. Just look at this. For crimes against systems or computer-related offenses, the penalty is prison major. Now that's a major prison sentence. We're talking 6 to 12 years behind bars, and that's on top of a minimum fine of 200,000 pesos. Even just helping someone out can get you in a world of trouble. And if you think that's rough, check this out. For corporations, the stakes are way, way higher. If a crime is committed for a company, the max fine can shoot all the way up to 10 million pesos. That's a huge number. But, a law is just words on paper if there's no one there to enforce it. So that brings up the question, who are the digital police? Who's actually out there investigating these crimes? Well, the law points to two main groups to be on the front lines of this digital fight: the National Bureau of Investigation, the NBI, and the Philippine National Police, the PNP. They're the ones tasked with getting to the bottom of these violations. Now, to make sure everyone's working together and following the same game plan, the law also created a central hub. It's called the Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center, or you'll see it called the CICC for short. And believe me, the CICC has a massive job. Just look at their to-do list. They do everything from actually creating the country's national cybersecurity plan to coordinating with police and even working with international partners. They are basically the nerve center for the entire country's cyber defense strategy. Okay, so let's boil this all down. If you take away 3 things from our explainer today, make it these. First, the law covers way more than just hacking. It's got fraud, identity theft, and even online libel. Second, the penalties are no joke. We're talking serious fines and jail time. And third, there are specialized government bodies whose entire job is to enforce these rules. So, understanding these rules is a great first step, for sure. But it kind of leaves us with a much bigger question to chew on every single time we log on. In a world where so much of our life happens on a screen, what does it really mean to be a good and responsible digital citizen?